You're standing at the edge of a federal courthouse, badge clipped to your belt, and you've just realized something that'll change everything. The system you swore to protect is about to become your personal ATM. You're a United States Marshal, and today's the day you cross a line you can't uncross. It starts small. It always does. You're escorting a mid-level drug dealer to his arraignment when his lawyer pulls you aside. The conversation is quick, coded, professional. He slides you an envelope. Inside, there's $5,000 in cash and a simple request. Lose some paperwork for 48 hours. That's it. Not forever, just 2 days. You tell yourself it's a one-time thing. A little financial cushion. Because your daughter needs braces and your wife's been on your back about the credit card debt. You pocket the envelope. The paperwork mysteriously gets misfiled. The dealer makes bail. Nobody notices. That $5,000 sits in your safe for 3 weeks before you touch it. Every day you stare at it, waiting for the guilt to crush you, but it never comes. Instead, what arrives is opportunity. Word travels fast in the criminal underworld when a federal officer can be bought. Within a month, you're getting approached at coffee shops, parking garages, even your kids' soccer games. Each job is slightly bigger than the last. Lose evidence. Delay a transport. Look the other way during a prisoner transfer. The money piles up. $10,000 becomes 20. 20 becomes 50. Your colleagues notice you're suddenly driving a nicer car. You tell them you got an inheritance from a dead uncle nobody ever met. They buy it because they want to. Because suspecting a fellow marshal means admitting the whole system might be rotten. You're counting on that willful blindness. It's your shield. 6 months in, you're not even pretending anymore. You've got a burner phone dedicated to your side business. Your contact list reads like a most wanted poster. The cognitive dissonance is gone. You've rationalized it perfectly. These criminals are going to work the system anyway. So why shouldn't you get paid? The lawyers bill $400 an hour to exploit loopholes. The judges golf with defense attorneys. Everyone's got their hand out. You're just being honest about it. Then comes the job that changes the game entirely. A cartel lieutenant is being transferred from county lockup to federal detention. High-value target. The kind of arrest that makes careers. His organization reaches out through your usual channels. But the offer isn't cash this time. They want to pay you in product. 50 kilos of uncut cocaine. Street value $2.4 million. Your cut after moving it through your new connections. $800,000. You've never touched drugs before. That was your line. But $800,000 erases a lot of lines. You spend 72 hours planning the route. You study shift changes, camera blind spots, and backup protocols. The transport is scheduled for a Tuesday morning, deliberately picked because it's the slowest day for federal movements. You volunteer to lead the detail. Your supervisors are thrilled. You're showing initiative, stepping up. If they only knew, the day arrives. You're in the lead vehicle of a 3-car convoy. The lieutenant sits in the middle transport, shackled and compliant. He knows the plan. About 15 miles outside the city, you radio that you're taking a detour to avoid traffic. Standard procedure. Nobody questions it. You reroute down a service road that cuts through an industrial area. Empty warehouses, no witnesses. The ambush is surgical. 2 vehicles box in the convoy. Men in tactical gear swarm out. Your fellow marshals reach for their weapons, but you raise your hand and tell them to stand down. The confusion on their faces is almost painful. One of them, a rookie named Martinez, who looks up to you, actually says your name like it's a question. You don't answer. You can't. The cartel operatives extract the lieutenant in under 90 seconds. They leave the cocaine in a duffel bag on the hood of your vehicle. A transaction completed. Then they're gone. Your team is screaming questions. You manufacture a story on the spot. They had military weapons, threatened to execute everyone. You made a tactical decision to preserve live. It's thin, but it'll hold under initial scrutiny. What matters is the duffel bag currently sitting in your trunk. That night, you move the product to a storage unit you rented under a fake name. You stand there in the dark, surrounded by 50 kilos of powder that represents either your retirement or your destruction. Your phone rings. It's your wife asking when you'll be home. You tell her soon. She says she loves you. You say it back and mean it, which somehow makes everything worse. The internal investigation starts within a week. The ambush was too clean, too coordinated. Federal prosecutors want answers. Your story is holding barely. but there are cracks forming. An analyst notices the detour route wasn't logged properly. A witness places suspicious vehicles in the area. The walls are closing in, and you've got 800,000 reasons to make sure they don't. That's when you get the call that'll define everything that comes next. The voice on the other end doesn't introduce itself. Doesn't need to. You recognize the cartel's fixer, the man who coordinates everything from prison breaks to political bribes. He tells you the heat is getting too intense. They're moving up the timeline. You need to liquidate the product within 48 hours, or they're sending people to retrieve it. His tone makes it clear retrieval means more than just taking back cocaine. You have 2 days to become a drug trafficker or a corpse. Your hands shake as you grip the steering wheel, headed toward the storage unit. You've crossed lines before, but this is different. Moving weight means entering a world where your badge offers zero protection. One wrong connection, and you're not just fired, you're dissolved in a barrel of acid somewhere in the desert. But backing out now means the cartel exposes your involvement in the transport ambush. Either way, your life as you know it ends. The burner phone buzzes with a contact. A club promoter in the meatpacking district who moves volume for wealthy clientele. Trust fund kids. Wall Street traders, the kind who snort their bonuses and never see consequences. You arrange a meet at a parking garage, 3rd level, 11 p.m. You show up early, scanning for surveillance, for setups, for any sign. This is the moment your luck runs out. He arrives in a Range Rover that costs more than your annual salary. Young guy, maybe 28, wearing confidence like cologne. He inspects a sample, tests it with a field kit, and nods. Pure enough to cut 3 times and still blow minds. He offers you $400,000 for 25 kilos, half up front, half on delivery. It's less than you hoped, but more than enough to vanish if things collapse. You take it. The exchange happens in a storage facility in Queens at 3 in the morning. You drive there, convinced every car behind you is federal surveillance. Your heart hammers so hard you taste copper, but the transaction goes smooth. Duffel bags swap hands. You count the cash twice while he loads product into a false compartment in his trunk. No words beyond necessity. You're both professionals in a transaction neither wants to remember. You complete 2 more sales over the next 36 hours. A mid-level distributor in Brooklyn takes 15 kilos for $240,000. A crew in the Bronx takes the remaining 10 for $160,000. Each meet-it is a fresh opportunity for disaster. Each time you walk away clean, you can't tell if you're blessed or cursed. By Thursday morning, you've got $800,000 in cash stashed in your home office inside a fake air vent you installed yourself. Your wife thinks you're working overtime on the investigation. She has no idea the investigation's primary target is currently eating breakfast across from her. Then the walls cave in. You arrive at work Friday to find your office sealed. Your supervisor, a woman who vouched for you during your entire career, won't make eye contact. 2 internal affairs agents escort you to an interview room. They lay out surveillance photos on the table. You meeting the club promoter. You at the storage facility in Queens. Long-range shots, but unmistakable. Someone flipped. Someone always flips. They tell you they've got enough to charge you with conspiracy, drug trafficking, and corruption. You're looking at 25 to life minimum. But there's a deal on the table if you cooperate right now, this second, before lawyers complicate things. Testify against the cartel. Give up your contacts. Wear a wire. Help them build a RICO case that decapitates the entire organization. In exchange, witness protection for you and your family, plus a reduced sentence. Maybe you serve 5 years in a minimum security facility, maybe less. Your mind races through the math. 5 years versus 25, safety versus certain death, but cooperating means admitting everything to your wife, uprooting your kids, living the rest of your life looking over your shoulder because cartel memory is long and witness protection isn't foolproof. You think about the 800,000 hidden in your wall, enough to disappear on your own terms if you move fast enough. Enough to get your family out of the country, establish new identities, start over somewhere the reach of federal agencies and cartels can't follow. Or maybe you take the deal, play the informant, and find a way to manipulate the system from the inside. The IIA agents are staring at you, waiting for an answer. One of them slides a cooperation agreement across the table. Sign here, initial there. Start talking now. Your hand hovers over the pen. Every choice leads to destruction, just different flavors. You think about Martinez, the rookie who trusted you, who watched you betray everything the badge represents. You think about your daughter, asking why daddy won't be home for her birthday. You think about the cartel lieutenant sitting in federal custody right now, probably taking bets on how long until you're murdered. The agent taps the paper impatiently. Time's up. They need an answer. You open your mouth to speak, but before words come out, your personal cell phone rings. The screen shows your wife's number. The agents gesture that you can't answer it, but you see the preview of her text message. Just 2 words that change everything. They know. Your blood turns to ice. The agents see your face drain of color. One of them reaches for the phone, but you're already moving. You grab the device and bolt for the door. They shout commands, but you're through the hallway, down the stairs. Survival instinct overriding every rational thought. You burst onto the street and sprint to your car. Your wife picks up on the first ring. Her voice is shaking. She tells you 2 men in suits came to the house 20 minutes ago. Not cops, not feds. They didn't say anything. Just stood on the porch, looked directly at the security camera, smiled, and left. You tell her to grab the kids and drive to her sister's place upstate right now. Don't pack, just go. She starts asking questions, but you cut her off. There's no time for explanations. She hears something in your voice she's never heard before. She hangs up. You're driving aimlessly now, checking mirrors every 3 seconds. The $800,000 is worthless if you can't access it. Going home is suicide. The cartel has eyes on your house. The feds probably have a team rolling up right now to secure the scene. That money might as well be on Mars. Your phone buzzes. Unknown number. Against your better judgment, you answer. The voice is calm, almost friendly. It's the cartel's lawyer, the man you met exactly once during the initial deal. He tells you he's disappointed. He thought you were smarter than this. But there's still a way out. They're willing to overlook your cooperation with law enforcement under one condition. You deliver something much more valuable than testimony. You give them the federal prosecutor's case files, every witness name, every piece of evidence, every planned move in the Ryko case. Do that and your family stays breathing. Come alone with the files or come to your daughter's next school play and find her seat empty. The line goes dead. You pull over in a parking garage, hands shaking so badly you can barely grip the wheel. The prosecutor's files are on the secure server at your office, the building you just fled from. Going back means walking into an IIA trap. You ditch your personal phone, smashing it under your heel. You buy a burner from a bodega and text your wife from the new number. Just 3 words. Trust me, run. 90 minutes later, you're back at the precinct. You enter through the basement loading dock using a maintenance key you pocketed months ago during a fire drill. The building is quieter than usual. Most personnel are at an off-site training seminar. Coincidence or setup, you can't tell anymore. You make it to your supervisor's office. Her computer is still logged in, sloppy but lucky for you. You access the case management system and download everything. Witness lists, surveillance logs, undercover operative identities, planned raid schedules. You're copying files that will get people killed. Federal agents who trusted the system, informants who risked everything. Their blood will be on your hands, but your daughter's won't be. The download completes. You pocket the flash drive and turn to leave. Your supervisor is standing in the doorway. She doesn't draw her weapon. She just looks at you with something worse than anger, disappointment, heartbreak. The meeting location is an abandoned warehouse near the docks. You arrive early, scanning for snipers, exit routes, any edge you can find. The lawyer appears from the shadows with 2 enforcers. You hand over the flash drive. He plugs it into a laptop, verifying the contents. After an eternity, he nods. He tells you your family is safe for now, but you're still a liability. They can't have you running around with everything you know. One of the enforcers raises a pistol. You close your eyes, thinking about your daughter's laugh, your wife's face, the life you torched for money you'll never spend. The shot never comes. Instead, the warehouse floods with light. Federal agents pour in from every direction. The lawyer's face twists in rage as he realizes the truth. The flash drive you handed him wasn't the real files. It was a decoy loaded with tracking malware. Your supervisor gave you one final chance to do the right thing. And somehow, impossibly, you took it. As they drag the cartel's leadership away in handcuffs, you collapse against a concrete pillar. You're alive. Your family is safe, but you'll spend the next decade in prison. And the badge you once wore with pride is gone forever. Some choices don't have good endings. They just have endings you can live with. You sit in that warehouse watching the arrests unfold and the full weight of what you've done finally lands. Not the corruption, not the drug deals, but the fact that you almost chose wrong one final time. Your supervisor gave you an out disguised as a confrontation. She knew you'd copied the files. She also knew the cartel would verify them on site. That 30-count window was all. The Bureau needed to trace the connection and move in. You were the bait, and somehow you didn't even realize it until the cuff started clicking. The federal prosecutor approaches while agents secure the scene. She tells you the deal still stands. Full cooperation, witness protection, reduced sentence. But now you've actually earned it. The flash drive op just bought them the entire cartel's upper management. You delivered something worth trading for. She asks if your family is somewhere safe. You nod, thinking about your wife's sister's house upstate. About your daughter, who will grow up knowing. Her father chose prison over letting. Criminals walk free. It's not redemption. You're still going away. You still betrayed everything you stood for. But in that final moment when it mattered most, you remembered what the badge actually meant. The prosecutor hands you her card and walks away. You're left alone with the weight of $800,000 you'll never touch. A career that's been incinerated and a family that'll have to rebuild their entire existence around your choices. You think about the rookie, Martinez, about whether he'll ever trust another marshal again. You think about the dealers you helped slip through the system before tonight. Some scales don't balance. Some damage doesn't get undone.